Hello and welcome back to my channel. You're joining me on a nice calm morning leaving Beaver Island. I am right now going over the anchorage that's right in the harbor. It does get shallow in here, but plenty of space for sailboats and motorboats to anchor. There are also a few beaches in town, I believe, that permit dinghies to beach and come ashore, as well as the marina seems to have a slip for the dinghies to tie up. I spent the last few days on Beaver Island to avoid holiday traffic. I was here over the 4th of July. I tend to avoid moving my boat during big holidays and holiday weekends because you get a lot of people who do not use their boats a lot. You get a lot of people drinking, so I find it generally better to just stay off the water during those times. Since I didn't record coming into the harbor in the last video, I decided to do a quick 360 in the harbor on my way out. Did it a bit faster than I intended to upon looking back on it, but might give you a good idea of what the harbor is. It's just a long town along the bay. The state marina in town has two parts to it. They have a section that is the southern dock and a section that is the northern dock. They're about, I'd say, a quarter mile apart. The southern dock is a little more exposed when the wind's directly into the bay. However, they have a nicer bathroom, in my opinion. The northern dock, however, is located a very short walk away from the local grocery store. They also have a fuel dock on the northern dock. However, expect to pay island prices. I believe when I was here in 2022, they wanted something like $9 a gallon for gasoline. Heading east towards Mackinaw Island, I came across an interesting sight. This is the Waugoshance Lighthouse, more commonly known as the Abandoned Lighthouse. It was built in 1851 and decommissioned in 1912 and left abandoned since then. U.S. Navy aircraft used this lighthouse as a target for bombing practice during World War II. They either were using fake bombs or they missed a lot because it's still standing. Since then, lake birds have successfully invaded the lighthouse and claimed it as their own. They remain there to this day. It is expected to fall into the lake in the coming years because it is so badly damaged. A few miles after leaving the light, Mackinaw Bridge came into view. The bridge is at the end of Lake Michigan and a very good visual indicator of when you're leaving the lake and entering Lake Huron. At nearly 5 miles long, this is the largest suspension bridge in the Western Hemisphere. The bridge itself is a toll bridge, costing $4 to cross. As a kid, my family would take vacations up to Mackinaw Island quite a bit. Every time we went across the bridge, I found it absolutely terrifying and begged them to stay out of the outside slow lane. In my opinion, it's a much cooler experience to go by boat underneath the bridge itself. As we pass underneath the colossal bridge, Mackinaw Island comes into view. The boat traffic around the island is incredibly busy most of the time. There are ferries that come and go constantly, and they put out very large wakes. Also, on nice days and weekends, you will see lots of cruising boaters like myself, lots of pontoon boats, jet skis, all sorts of people out and about having fun. And if that wasn't enough to watch for, there's also a shipping channel that goes near the island where you get very large lake freighters. A landmark you can easily spot from the water is the large Grand Hotel, which is the white building to the left. The red and white lighthouse off to the right is the Round Island Light. Between that light and a point on a beach to the shore to the left is the finishing line for the Chicago Mackinaw Island sailboat race. As we go between Mackinaw Island to the left and Round Island to the right, the waves suddenly start increasing and my calm day seems to be at an end. Usually in my Ranger Tug, when waves are under 3 feet, I can go fast and ride over the top of them for a more comfortable ride. However, when I start getting 4-footers, I find I need to slow down or else things slam quite a bit and it's less of a comfortable ride. It does mean that I bob around quite a bit more during that time though. My destination today was near Detour, Michigan, which wasn't too far away from this point. Most of my Lake Huron crossing was the conditions you see now. The 4-foot waves did space themselves out once every 5 to 15 minutes, meaning I could go fast on plane, but when I saw those waves approaching, I'd throttle myself down and make sure to take them nice and slow, and then throttle back up from there. Unfortunately, this also meant that I couldn't safely get to my camera to replace the battery during this time, so I was not able to get any more footage until I approached the shore of Lake Huron, where things calmed down quite a bit and flattened back out. Approaching Detour, I paused for a moment to watch the Drummond Detour ferry cross. The small island to the left with the green channel marker on it is called Frying Pan Island, and as of January 2024, it is currently for sale for $570,000. Just after the ferry dock was Detour Marina, where I was stopping for fuel. My last gas stop was Frankfort, Michigan, and since then I traveled 180 miles, which is about my maximum range for this boat, figuring a 15% fuel reserve afterwards. This marina has a nice long fuel dock, so it's nice and easy to take a slow approach and plenty of space for multiple boats. I would be on Lake Superior the following day. I'd never been on the lake before and was honestly quite nervous. So I decided to fill up the 3 5-gallon jerry cans I've been carrying on my boat and put them on the back deck as emergency fuel. Lake Superior itself does not have many safe ports with fuel docks in them, so I'd have to plan carefully from here on out. I haven't spent much time up in the Detour area before, but checking my charts, there seemed like a perfect little anchorage that was my destination today. North of Drummond Island is a series of small islands that all seem undeveloped and very wild, making a very cool cruising experience. Up ahead and slightly to the left is the entrance to Harbor Island National Wildlife Refuge. It is an island with a very large lake in the middle of it that you can only get through this one narrow point, making it very well protected from all directions. The interior of the anchorage can get a bit shallow, so if you have anything more than, say, 4 feet of draft, be cautious going in. If you still want to anchor out the island, however, to the left is a deeper anchorage that is slightly less well protected, but still on the same island. After I'd anchored, I decided to get my little dinghy out and putt around the island and nearby area. There were even a few small beaches I was able to get pulled up on and walk around a little bit. I was the first one at the anchorage of the day, and I had my pick of spots. It was deepest right in the middle, so that's where I decided to go, just to play it safe. Quite a few weeds around the outside area, but nothing too bad where I was anchoring. Later in the evening, I was joined in the anchorage by the local schooner Huron Jewel, which was built on nearby Drummond Island and is available for charters and day sails. I've met the crew of the Huron Jewel the year before in, I believe, Hessel, Michigan. Very nice people. The keel apparently can swing right up into the boat and reduce their draft from about 9 feet to about 4 feet. After anchoring and running around in my dinghy a bit, I really got down to going over my general plan for the next day. Tomorrow, we'd be going up the St. Mary's River, through the Sioux Locks and on to Lake Superior. I've never locked solo by myself before, or locked in this boat at all. I have never been on Lake Superior either. Lake Superior has quite the reputation of being a dangerous lake that takes a lot of planning ahead and really watching the weather in order to navigate safely. Today saw us going 93 miles. From here on out, it's all new territory to me. So I am looking forward to the adventure, but I am a bit apprehensive about it. If you're interested in seeing my trip up the St. Mary's River and locking through to Lake Superior, please subscribe, and I hope to have that next video out soon. Thank you.